Excited to have you here as we go live with our 1970s big rig adventure game, Truckin' 76. Hello again, Keith Avalone from PLAAY Games. Sam is producing tonight's show as usual, our special Monday night edition. I'm just back from the world's largest truck stop in Walcott, Iowa. Had a super fun weekend. Just really fun. We had a good group of people, and it was a great vibe. I mean, everybody knew each other. And so we just had a lot of fun. The truck stop is everything that you would imagine it to be. I mean, they try to describe the scope of it. It's unbelievable, unbelievably large, unbelievably impressive. And as you can see, they got plenty of merch. I'm tricked out in my merch. They actually did have a Smokey and the Bandit T-shirt on sale in the gift area. I don't even call it a shop. It's more like a gift mall. And I have my world's largest truck stop souvenir cap to wear tonight as well. I want to thank everybody that showed up and helped make it such a successful launch. We got into the gameplay after, taking in the truck stop and just kind of moseying around and seeing all the sights. We eventually did find a spot in the food court. It was wide open. It was not that crowded. So we were able to spread out, play some games. People were walking up and saying, "What are you guys doing?" And we tell them, "We get this truck driving game," and it was really a great experience. From just to think of some of the highlights, we did kind of a tournament. The way we set it up was I kind of explained the game to everybody, then I did a sample run myself. And then I paired everybody up, and we did gave everybody a sample run of their own, and then we did a final, like a championship run, with the idea being that the person with the highest score would get a free copy of the game, and that honor goes to James Cast, who came in with a 154. I can't let this stream pass without mentioning that Brian Hoxie was thrown in jail 3 times on one run. It's like, dude, you got to slow down. So it was a lot of fun. We really had a great time. I am going to make a blog post about it with some photos and a general rundown of everything. But it's really a great weekend in Iowa. And thanks to everybody that made the trip. The baseball thing was fun, too, that night at the hotel. I'll also do a blog post on that. But tonight we're talking about trucking. The idea tonight is I planned this stream so as to be hopefully efficient in my presentation, so I hope you don't mind if I refer to my show notes as we go along. The idea, the game plan is this: number one, unbox the game, show the contents, maybe talk a little bit about them. Number two, explain the game, kind of give you a rules overview. Then do a sample run of the game using the movie version. There's 2 versions of the game. There's the movie version and the adventure version, which I'll explain shortly. Then we'll do a quick overview of the adventure version after having run the movie version, and then we'll make the game available, and that'll be that. So let me just talk briefly about the game. I guess let's do the unboxing. Let me show you the contents, and that might help you understand some of the philosophy behind the game. So we'll go to the game cam. Let me move my show notes over here. Here's the box. It's got text on the back. Standard PLAAY Now box. There's your box like this. We'll open it up, and it comes with these 3 items inside. Move this off to the side here.
The table cam?
Yeah, are we not on the table cam?
Sorry.
Yeah, go to the table cam. Yes. So here are the items I pulled out of the box. You got this packet of game boards and rules and such, and then you've got the action cards, the game's action cards, and you get these dice. Let's just go through each of these. Let's start here with the dice. So the dice.
I don't know if we got to see the cover.
All right.
Since I forgot to switch to the game table.
Sam says, show you the cover. There's the cover. I think it's on. It's pretty much what you've seen on the website. We did take Dave Heller's suggestion and took the apostrophe out of the 1970s. So that is fixed. There were actually quite a few small fixes to be made. And again, I want to go back to our crew in Iowa. There were a couple of things about the game that needed to be fixed, and was one of the reasons why we did this event prior to launching. And they know what they were, but what happens in Iowa stays in Iowa. So we're going to leave it at that. But they were instrumental, especially Harvey Couch was instrumental in making a couple of key adjustments to this game, the game components, to make it really really shine. All right, so there's the front, there's the back, and I know Harvey has sworn to secrecy; he will never tell. Okay, so that's the box. Let's just go ahead and go to the boards here. Open up the package. Why is this not? Here we go. You'd think it'd be easier to open this than it is. So we'll start from the back, I guess. There's a page of design. Actually, it's 2 pages of design notes. So if you get the game, I wanted people to know kind of some of the thoughts, the challenges behind this, rather than going into it on the stream. If you get the game, you're welcome to look through these design notes if you want or not. Here's the game rules. It's not a long rules booklet. It's 4 pages. So there's your rules. Then we have the Truckin logs. You'll get a set of Truckin logs. These are you'll have enough to do about 20 runs. And then we'll have I have not done this yet, but I will do it either tonight or tomorrow. We'll put a PDF of the download, a PDF of the Truckin logs, so you can print more logs for your driving adventures. Each of these logs will record 3 runs. So each of these represent a day of driving. These shaded spaces represent sleep requirements, required sleep hours. Talk about that shortly. But yeah, so you've got enough to do about 20 runs, and then you can download more and print them from the website. There's a sample log, how to fill out the driving log. If you've played Aviatrix, it's similar. I believe it's actually simpler than Aviatrix in terms of how to fill out the Truckin log, but it's a similar mechanic. And it's explained here. I think I may post this to the website as well, so people get an idea how the game flows and how to record, basically record your stats, so to speak. So you'll get a sample Truckin log. You'll get a travel adventure guide. I don't want to go too much into this. I want to take this off camera because it's secret contents of secret adventures that you can take as you play this game. There's a sheet of vouchers. These take the place of dice at strategic moments. You'll get 16 of these that you can separate. And now we get to the boards. I'm just going to flip them over in order. We got, here, let's just show you. I'll flip them this way. These are the drive board and the fuel board. These will generate the results as you're driving and as you're fueling up. Based on driving, based on how fast you're driving, and fueling up based on where you're fueling up. And then this is really the heart and soul of the game. The map boards, the game boards. There's 3 of them. Now, Aviatrix, of course, has. I guess I'm kind of not centered here, am I? This probably is more centered. Aviatrix has, I believe it's got 13 boards, and. Originally, the original version of this game had a similar number of game boards. The Truckin run was coast to coast in the early version of the game, where you actually went from San Bernardino, California, all the way to Newark, New Jersey. And for a number of reasons, we shortened it down. So now the game is basically echoes the run from the movie Smokey and the Bandit, where they're thirsty in Atlanta and there's beer in Texarkana, and your job is to get it there. Now, the game and the game boards and the game materials don't. This is not a simulation of Smokey and the Bandit. I just want people to understand that we're not trying to simulate the movie, but it draws from it. And so, for example, in the movie, they started in Atlanta and had 24 hours to get from Atlanta to Texarkana, then back. And actually in Iowa, we kind of experimented with a way to do that. You actually can do that if you want to. But the base game assumes you've already made this trip. You've got the beer and you're headed back this way. So, it doesn't, 100%, it's not designed to, recreate the movie necessarily, but it is very much in the spirit of the movie, as you will discover. So those are the game components, the boards. let me show you the cards. These are the action cards, the action decks. There are 4 action decks that come with the game, and I'll sort them out right here because I believe they're kind of mixed up. There's the Truckin, the route marker cards. There's the Truckin perk cards. I'm going to need to use these. There's the pursuit cards. That's police pursuit. And then there's the payload cards. And I'm going to have, the way these come out of the Duplo, that they are in groups of 5, I believe. So I'm going to sort these out like this. And you will have to do the same thing when you get the game. It's not hard, though. Just kind of sort them all out. Get them in individual piles. There's 15 cards in each pile. And there we go. So your payload cards, your Truckin perk cards, your route marker cards, and your pursuit cards. Now, the payload cards obviously have payloads on them. In the movie version of the game, you'll get the domestic beer card out of here, which is, I'll find it and I'll set it aside because we're going to be using that here shortly. So in the movie version of the game, you're hauling domestic beer. However, in the adventure version, you might get lawn darts. We have a bunch of thematic 1970s products that you can haul. Lawn darts, blacklight posters, mood rings, 8-track tapes, fine china, aged whiskey, and of course, I don't reveal them all. Well, I will reveal. There's beanbag chairs, and there's the bales of cash, which is a huge payload. It's over the weight limit. And probably not legit, and there's a chance it might just all blow out the back of your truck at the end. So this is kind of a risky one to get. I'm not sure if this is a broken card or not. You may want to remove this card from your payload deck. I don't know, but we left it in there for the fun of it because it's possible at the end you roll at the end of your trip, and you might get the 50 points. But it might turn out that you got cheated and you only get 10. Or the back door of your truck might blow, somehow in the movie, fly open and all that cash goes scattered over the countryside and you don't get any of it. So anyway, so in the base version, the movie version, you get beer, but there are all kinds of other options that you can get for your payload. The adventure version, the Truckin perks, these are, I'll explain more about these. These are just different things that will help you in the game. The route markers are kind of what drive the game. These are will tell you what happens depending on. Oh, I got Truckin perk card in here. These will be driven by how fast you're going, whether you're going double nickel or whether you're going hammer down, and will generate the results, which will either a wide variety of results that are based on what you're doing driving-wise. And, of course, if you are going hammer down and you get a smoky on your trail, then you're going to flip one of these cards, and it will tell you whether they get you or not. Now, in the game version here, of course, in real life, you can always, if you see police lights, you want to pull over. That doesn't happen in the movie. You'll have the opportunity to gun it or off-road it, and then you'll flip the card over and it will tell you what happens based on the choice that you just made. So those are the action decks. There's 4 of them, and you'll set them up in that order. Well, you won't actually need the payload deck. For the movie version of the game, you'll just use these 3. And then you get your dice. You get these are the black dice are for fuel, and you'll set them above the board once we get this thing set up. This is the action die, which you'll use if you get to a way station or when you refuel or when you're in jail. This is what you'll use when you are not using when you're not driving. The D10 is a green D10 that can be used for fuel, but it can also be used for these action rolls as well. And I'll explain all that in just a second. And then the truck token, which was 3D printed by our good friend and Iowa compatriot Travis Jansen. So each game comes with one of these, and we'll move this along. So those are the components. Now, I guess what I will need to do is separate these voucher cards, and then we can run a sample run. Let me quickly explain the premise of the game. Well, let me separate these as I'm doing that. The game is pretty similar. It has many similarities to Aviatrix. It was inspired by Aviatrix. When Aviatrix came out, I don't know who suggested it, the suggestion was made. Hey, you could. Have you ever seen Smokey and the Bandit? You should do. You could make it. Use this engine for that. And I thought that's kind of a neat idea. So somewhere along the way, the inspiration, the connection was made between these two games. So there's many similarities between that game and this one, in terms of using a map with hexes on it, using fuel dice, using dice for fuel, and gradually consuming it, and using the number that you roll on the die as the result of that segment of the flight slash trip, trucking trip. In both games, both games have story elements to them. In both games, you basically have three scenarios at the end of the game. You either lose the game, or you have what we call a successful outcome, or you can win the game. In Aviatrix, a loss is obviously, you crash and it's bad news. It's classified as bad news in the game. Now, if you survive the flight, even if you crash, even if the plane is ditched in the ocean, if you had a life raft and you survived, that's considered a success. And you will then gain a voucher for next time, and which will help you, will give you an extra use of the D10, which can be substituted for the D6. And then the more successes you have, or the more the more successes you have, the more D10 voucher experience rolls you get, and then it becomes gradually more likely as you gain experience that you can have a successful flight all the way around the world in record time sometimes. Well, it kind of works that way in Truckin 76 as well. You will gain experience by having a successful run. You can obviously lose the run, get fired from your job if you don't make the delivery in time. You have a wide range of successful runs in which you either get a glare from the dispatcher, or you get a pat on the back from the boss, or the ultimate goal, though, the win condition is to make it into the Truckin Hall of Fame, and that is set up to be more difficult. But again, the more experience you acquire, the more vouchers you get from doing successful runs, the easier it will be, the more likely it will be, the smoother it will be to get yourself into the Truck Driving Hall of Fame. So that's kind of the premise of the movie. The differences between the games are also kind of notable. Starting with the basic theme of the game, obviously Aviatrix is based on a historical event that did not end well and was quite difficult, quite a challenge, whereas this game is based on a movie that did end well and was lighthearted and fun. So I mean, the whole complexion of the two scenarios on which the games are based are completely different, and that so with that in mind, it's only natural that you could expect to have a much higher level of success in Truckin 76, because it's based on a movie, and the movie will typically end with the hero, achieving his goal. So we've set the bar higher in this game as to how you can win. So I would say it's about as difficult to make it into the Truck Driving Hall of Fame as it is to go all the way around the world in Aviatrix. But you are going to have a much higher success rate in terms of making it to Atlanta in this game than you do in Aviatrix. So the map. Let's explain the game mechanics. The map. We'll start with the map. There's basically three kinds of spaces here. You've got the road spaces, which look like asphalt. You've got route marker shield spaces, which will trigger story results when you either land on them directly or pass by them. You cannot avoid them. When you go past them or land on them, you will have a story event happen. And then there are these blue outline truck stop spaces. These are where the truck stops are. And if you need to refuel, you want to be refueling on a truck stop. It's not like Aviatrix, where if you run out of fuel, you crash the plane. Because you're on a highway, you can always stop for fuel. There's always a gas station somewhere. So we had to rework that mechanic. But instead, there's a benefit, a pretty significant benefit to fueling up at a fuel stop versus what we call fueling up in the boonies. You can fuel up on any hex space, but if you're not on a blue space, you're in the boonies, and it'll be more difficult to fuel up. The outcomes will be less. So that's the map. Three basic kinds of spaces, and the idea is to get from here to here. There are 3 routes. There's the northern route, which takes you through Little Rock and Memphis and then Tupelo. There's the southern route that takes you through Shreveport and Jackson, Mississippi, and on over to Tuscaloosa. And then there's the central route, which goes through the boonies. There are no truck stops here. It takes you all through all these little towns like, Greenville, Mississippi, and Itabena, Mississippi, and Eupora, and Coal Fire, Alabama, and so on and so forth. So those are your choices. Now, for reference, this would basically be the path that they took in the movie. But you have options in the game. There are 2 ways to drive. As I mentioned, there's double nickel and hammer down. Double nickel is observing the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. And for those of you that are too young to remember it, there was indeed a national 55-mile-an-hour speed limit for many, many years. It was a fuel conservation measure that was mandated by the government. Nobody could drive faster than 55, and that's part of what inspired the whole movie Convoy, or the whole song Convoy, and this whole idea of what are we doing with a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. But yes, so you can choose to go 55, observe the speed limit, or you can do like C.W. McCall suggests, and that's go hammer down. Which is not observing the speed limit. I've already spoken about the action decks and what they do. The dice and vouchers. The vouchers, I think, it's pretty simple. You can use a voucher. You start the game with a voucher, and then you can earn them, accumulate them during the game, and you can use a voucher as a die roll anytime you want, whenever you feel like it's best. Now, what is different than Aviatrix is that in Aviatrix, the voucher roll substitutes for a die roll. So if I wanted to spend this voucher, I would have to remove a fuel die. In Truckin 76, we don't do that. In Truckin 76, you use the voucher. It's its own die roll. So you can stretch your fuel by using these, but you can also use them to shorten your jail time if that happens, or get a better outcome at a fuel stop, or make it more likely you're going to get through a way station. Those are just some of the uses for the voucher in Truckin 76. I think that's basically it. I think we should do a sample run here, and I'll show you how this all works. And then I'll explain the adventure version to you. So this is, let me get this set up properly. This is actually not the recommended setup. The board should go here, like this. The dash, I call it the dashboard, because if you look carefully, you can see there's a steering wheel here. It's kind of like looking out the window of a big rig here. There's the highway there. There's the passenger side. So here's your dashboard, your speed choices, your driving modes, we'll call it, double nickel, hammer down. Here's your truck stop and boonies fuel up modes, the fuel board and the drive board. You put the cards here between these 2 boards, the Truckin perks, the route markers, and the pursuit. I probably should, I'm going to shuffle these up because they probably are not in order. This is the way I recommend shuffling these, by the way. There's only 15 cards, so you really don't have to shuffle. I think it's easier just to do this, like make piles of 3 or 4, and then just, put them in a different order. It's pretty efficient that way. I'll do 4 stacks with the Truckin perk cards. And I recommend doing this, after you play each game, just to kind of mix the cards up, because there's not that many of them. And we'll do the same thing with the route marker shields. Oh, the pursuit cards. Actually, I got this wrong. The pursuit cards should go here. The best flow for this game is to have Truckin perks, route markers, and pursuit. You'll use the ones in the middle, the route marker ones, most often. Did I already do these? No, I don't think I did. All right. So now we are ready to play. I don't want to editorialize too much as I play. I want to give you some insights as to how this game works, but I don't want to spill all the beans. So I'll make a few comments. Some things will be, I think, easy to understand and figure out on your own. Others, I think, you kind of pick up as you play the game more. All right, so we are ready to roll. I've got my 5 fuel dice, a full tank of fuel. I've got my voucher here. I've got my truck token at Texarkana. And I am going to... Oh, I need a Truckin log. Let me get a Truckin log. Where is that? Over here? All right. Can't be driving without a Truckin log. And I usually put that like, right here. So this is basically your game space right here. These are the extra vouchers which you'll pick up during the game. This is your supply. When you spend one, you put it there. And these are your cards. I'll spread them out a little bit. Now, if you're doing the adventure game, you would have the payload cards also here. But we won't need that for this. All right, so to start the game, I'm going to decide what my mode is and where I'm headed. I'm going to do, I'll do the central route, since that is, probably the most common route. And I'm going to start by going double nickel. I do that because, and so I'll write an N here. And that locks me into the speed that I've chosen. I'll set these up here for use. And I'm gonna roll the die. Now, the distribution is different, obviously, whether you're going double nickel or hammer down. If you're going double nickel, the most spaces you're going to move is 3. And you're going to, the average is going to be 2.5 spaces per move. You're basically averaging 55 miles an hour. And if you're going hammer down, you're obviously going much faster. So the differences are primarily on 1, 5, and 6. Well, 1, 4, 5, and 6. You'll get extra spaces going hammer down. However, you have the risk of a smoky appearing whenever you go hammer down. If you roll a 6, you will have something special happen, whether you're going double nickel or hammer down. If you're going double nickel and you roll a 6, you will have a chance to either gain a voucher or take the top Truckin perk card. And move 3 spaces. If you roll a 6 when you're going hammer down, you're going to move 5 spaces, and a smoky is going to be on your tail immediately, and you'll have to figure out how you're going to evade him. If you roll a 5, whether it's going double nickel or hammer down, or whether you're at a truck stop or at the boonies getting fuel, whenever you roll a 5, you're going to get trucker chatter. And that is a key element of the game. That is the CB radio aspect of this game. You will, whenever you get a 5, you'll get to look at the top card of all these decks and save that information, and you'll put the card back on the top face down. Now, you only get one look. You're no fair going back and looking at it again. It's up to you to remember. You can't write it down. You have to just remember it. And that is like the CB element, and that becomes quite important. So I'm going to go double nickel here because I don't know where the smokies are, and I'm going to use my first fuel die. I got a 4. I'll write N4. I'll move 3 spaces. I pass the Magnolia, Arkansas Highway 82 shield, which means I'm going to flip this over, and it's going to tell me what happens. I was going double nickel, playing it safe, and it's the way station. I just remembered I don't have my beer card out. Just FYI, I should have the beer payload card here. Technically, I played this game so many times, I know that's 10 points going to be added to the end of my score, but you'd want to have your payload card here. So I can either stop, or I can try to blow the way station. Just ignore it and try. And there will be a smoky on my trail, and I will try to evade him. In this early in the game, I think I'll take a chance, because if I roll a 1, 2, or 3 on the action die, I'll have paperwork but no payload check. They're not even going to look at my payload. They're just going to have me sign my name and go. Won't waste any time. No problem. If I roll 4, 5, or 6, though, they're going to check the payload, and I'm going to kill an hour. And if I was overweight, had too much payload, then I would be in trouble and would have to waste many hours, explaining and unloading and so forth. So, but it's early in the game. I'm going to take a chance, see if they just let me wade through. I need to roll a 1, 2, or 3 in the action die, and I get a 6. So I'm going to mark a 0 here for the way station. I'm going to spend an extra hour at the way station. And so now I'm on my 3rd hour of my trip. I'm going to go, I'll go hammer down here. Not because I think it's the smartest thing to do. In fact, what I will do is I'm going to spend a voucher to go hammer down. Now, when you go hammer down, when you spend a voucher, if you roll a 1 through 6, it's the same as rolling a d6. However, if you roll a 7, 8, 9, or 0, you get to choose the number that you want. So my strategy here is I'm going to spend this voucher. That gives me a 50-50 chance of rolling a 5. That'll get me 5 space movement, and I'll also be able to check the CB radio to see if there's a smoky, and if so, how I can evade him. So I'm going to hope for a 5 here. And I got a 1. That's all right. So I got options on 1. If I roll a 1, I can go either 4 or 5 spaces. If I go 4 spaces, I'm going to land on this shield, and I'll get a bonus. If I go 5, I'll go past this. I think I'm going to take the 4. Hammer 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I get a perk. Whenever you land on a root shield by exact count, you get to choose any perk you want from here. So I think what I will do is I'm going to take there's any number. I'm not going to go through how each of these work, but I will choose help from the bandit, put the patrol car in the pond, just like in the movie, and that will give me an extra 2 spaces. I will also now, so that's and I get to keep this card here because all my Truckin perks count as 3 points bonus color at the end of the game. So now I've passed this route marker symbol, so I got to flip this card over. I was going hammer down. I just hope there's not a Smokey there because I don't know. I was hoping to get my CB radio to tell me, but I didn't get a 5. And there's a Smokey there. So now I got to decide what I'm going to do. This could be a bad moment on a stream if the host goes to jail. I am going to off-road it and hope for the best. Now, the game is set up so that off-roading it is more likely to lose the Smokey, but you're also more likely to use some time. But I'm going to try to stay out of jail here, hopefully. And I flip it. I'm off-roading it, and I lost him. Keep on trucking. All right. And I didn't even lose any time. So I drove, like in the movie, I drove through the barn or whatever and lost him. All right, so that worked out okay for me. So now I've used a voucher, and I still have 4 fuel die left. So I'm going to keep on going. Now I'm only 2 spaces away from a route marker shield. I think that was a little bit too close of a call for me. So I'm going to go double nickel here. I'd like to pick up a voucher. I'll go double nickel. All right, I got 3. 1, 2, 3. I passed the route marker shield, and I'm going to get a convoy. Gain a D10 voucher. Nice. So now I've got a D10 voucher. Now these vouchers can be used during the game, but they also, if you hold on to them, they're worth points at the end of the run as well. So I've got, again, a situation where I'm 4 spaces ahead. Do I want to use my voucher right now? I think what I'm going to do... What am I going to do? I think I want to use my voucher and do the same thing I tried to do last time and get a 5. Let's see, I rolled, what did I say? I rolled a nickel 3. All right, so hammer. I'm using a voucher again, so I put a little V there. And again, I'm going to hope to get a 5 or the equivalent. And I got a 1 again. So I'm going to have this exact same thing. You know what? You've already seen how that plays out. I'm just for the sake of this demo, I'm going to say that I rolled a 7. I mean, I know that's not, you don't do this in actual gameplay, but I want you to show how this would work. You've already seen how it works with that same roll earlier. Kind of one of the disadvantages of doing live streams. You know, if I was recording this, I would say, let's just edit that out. So I'm going to say that I got a 5. A 7, which means I can choose a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I passed this route marker symbol. I get to do trucker chatter. I'm going to check all these cards. This is a good card to have if I'm going really fast. I might want to try to get that. All right, so there is a Smokey ahead. Good to know. Now I want to know how to evade him. Looks like if I gun it, I will move ahead 1 space, and I can keep on trucking. That would be very good. If I off-road it though, I'll lose him, but I'll lose a bunch of hours hiding from him. So obviously, I want to gun it, which is what I am going to do. This says Smokey. I put this on the bottom. Oops, sorry about that. I mean, this is the advantage of having CB chatter. So I'm going to move us ahead of space and lose him. So I'm doing all right. Starting to get time for a fuel stop. I still have 3 fuel die left, though. I'm going to go ahead and go nickel here. And I got a 4. So it's 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that would have been nice to land at Tuscaloosa. And I'll check my route marker. Go on double nickel. Oh, it's another way station. So I will again try to not lose an hour. And it's getting to the point right now where I kind of like to make it, but I'll risk it again because I lost the last time. Maybe I'll make it this time. And again, I'm going to get that payload check again. So I have to mark off another hour. So I've lost 2 hours at the way station, which is not optimal. I still have two fuel dice left. I'm pretty sure I can make it to Birmingham. So I'm gonna go. let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I go hammer down, I'm going to go hammer down. There's no root marker symbol, so unless I roll a 6, I'm going to be smoky free. So I'll go ahead and go hammer down here, try to make it to Birmingham. And I got a 6, so the smoky's on my trail. There, that's kind of the way it works sometimes. So I get 5 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do not know what that card says. In fact, I don't know that this, what this card says, but I guess, that would be here. I didn't cross a route marker. The smoky's on my trail because of me going hammer down. So I've got to basically make a decision. I think once again, I will go off-road. I hope I don't lose a lot of time. And let's see what I got. This is part of the drama of the game. Lost him. Yes. Of course, if I had gunned it, I would have done even better. But I'm just happy to lose him. All right, I'm down to my last fuel die. I'm on a fuel truck stop space. So I'm going to stop for fuel now and roll the action die. So I'm going to put F here. And I'll roll the action die. And I'm going to get 5 fresh dice. And it will use 1 hour. So I marked that fuel die roll in here. That wasn't a great. That's like the worst roll at a truck stop, but it's better than it's a good roll in the boonies. So I mean, you have to kind of take it in context. I'm not unhappy with that. I would have liked to have gotten a voucher or something or a fast fuel up, but that didn't happen. All right, so I don't have any extra vouchers. Again, now here's where I can sort of chance it. I think what I want to do, knowing the way the game works, I'm gonna go ahead and go double nickel here because I got a pretty good chance of rolling a 3, going 3 spaces, and if I do, I'll get a perk, and I know what that perk is because my CB chatter told me. So I'm gonna hope to get a 3, 4, 5, or 6. It's a pretty good chance of getting what I want, and I got a 6, which is even better. So I moved 3 spaces. I'm gonna put nickel 6, 3 spaces. So because I rolled a 6, I get a perk. Or I can take a voucher. I will take, you know what? I'm going to take the top voucher because I know what it is, and it's what I wanted anyway. So I'll take the top. Now, I guess I can't do that really. Technically, I have to search for my. No, that's right. Technically, I do. I get to take the top one first and then search. So I'm going to take this, and now I can search for my perk. And I will take the. I'm going to take. I'll take help from the bandit because, again, that'll move me up 2 spaces, and then I won't have to go, hammer down to get to Atlanta in the next turn. All right? So I've passed that route marker symbol, so I got to check that, but I'm going double nickel, so I'm safe. And I'm going to get another D10 voucher. So this is actually working out pretty well this run. I expect to have a good run. I'm not going to need to use this. If I roll I'm going to use my regular fuel die. If I roll a 1, that would be bad, but anything else will be great. I could use a voucher to make it even less likely I roll a 1, but I'm going to save that for scoring. And I got a 3, which is good. So I made it to Atlanta. Let me mark nickel 3. So there's my run. I made it in 11 hours. So now let me score it. So I'm going to get 9. You get 9 points for every unused hour. So 9 times 13 is 107. 9 times 13 is 117. So 117 for early. I've got my 10-point payload for 10 points. I've got 3 perks, each of them worth 3 points. One of them is the express route, which means if I finish 12 or more hours early, which I did, I get 10 points for each hour early instead of 9, which means I'm going to get I get 13 more points for that because I was 13 hours early. And I have a voucher to roll for. Hopefully I'm going to roll a 6. A 9 equals a 6, so I get 6 more points. So my score is 117, 127, 136, 146, 40, and 154 is my final score, and that will translate to extra voucher for my next run. So next run, I will start with 2 vouchers, and there's a mechanic in the game which will allow you just to basically turn your truck around. This is what I would do if I was playing this game in a campaign mode, which I highly recommend. I would pick up a new payload. It might be, the bales of cash. It might be the earth shoes, and I would head back to Texarkana and see if I could eventually, in doing that, you'll increase your vouchers, and you'll also increase your knowledge of the way the game works, and it just becomes more and more. This is a game you can get good at. You'll be more and more likely to get that 200-point finish, and put yourself in the Truck Driving Hall of Fame. All right, that is how it works, and I hope you enjoyed it. It's a fun game, I think. Now, let me give you a quick overview of the adventure mode. In the adventure mode, there are a couple of different things. First of all, you add the payload deck. So which is accessed when you roll a 6 going double nickel. And again, you can use your vouchers to manufacture those sixes and get this perk. And when you get that perk, the double nickel 6 perk, you can, instead of choosing the top Truckin perk, going 3 spaces and choosing the top Truckin perk or a voucher, you can go 0 spaces and pick up another payload and add it to the payload that you already have. So that's part of the adventure game. The other part of the adventure game is the travel adventure guide. Now, I don't want to go too much in depth on this, but what I've done is for each of these spaces where there's a route marker symbol, Memphis and Itta Bena, Mississippi, and Pottscamp, Mississippi, I've done some period research from the 70s, and I've come up with scenarios that would have been appropriate for 1976 in those locations, which will provide you with adventures that you can opt to take if you want. So when you land on one of these spaces, where's my truck? When you land at Itta Bena, Mississippi, by exact count, you can, and these are activated by the plot twist perk card. So what you can do is, it wouldn't be a play stream unless something hit the floor, right? You can choose the plot twist stream, the plot twist card. You've landed by exact count on a route marker shield. You choose the plot twist card, and it says gain a D10 voucher or go to the travel adventure guide. If you choose to go to the travel adventure guide, you can access. It's like you're unlocking these adventures that you can take if you want, or not. You're going to pull your rig over. Now you're going to mark off an hour on your Truckin guide, but you're going to get 2 vouchers. And then you're also going to get the opportunity to go on an adventure. If you want to take it, you can, and there's other stipulations. I'm not going to go into those. I'm going to let you discover those on your own. And I would recommend that you not read that ahead of time. I know there's people who get like History Maker Baseball, and they say, I never read the rare results. I've never read the Z results. I want to be surprised. Or the wrestling games like that too. I would suggest you do that with this. Don't look at that until you're ready to use them, and then when you are, just decide, do I want to check that out a little bit? I think I do. And they can gain you extra points and also help get you into the Truck Driving Hall of Fame, which is what it's all about, right? Okay, that's it. Hope you had fun. If you haven't ever watched the movie Smokey and the Bandit, I feel like you might be at a small disadvantage to getting the very most out of this game. But if you watch, there's the music video of the theme song, which is Jerry Reed's Eastbound and Down. There's a music video that uses movie footage exclusively from start to finish. If you watch that music video, it's like, well, there's the game. That is the game right there. You got the patrol car with the top getting lopped off. You got the cruiser going into the brook, the river. You got the dog. You got Sally Field, jumping into the runaway bride, jumping into the cab. It's basically the game right there in 3 minutes. So I would encourage you to watch that if you haven't watched the movie. No stream this Thursday. That's why we're streaming on Monday. Next stream will be Thursday, September 25th. We have something fun planned that I think everybody will enjoy. So hope you can make it on Thursday, the 25th. Game is live?
Game is live.
Game is live. All right. Hope you have fun with it. I've enjoyed playing it myself, and I hope you will too.
You want to talk briefly about the 2-player expansion?
The 2-player expansion. Okay, yes, you can play it with 2 players. Most of our folks are solo. So I think what we're doing is we're going to go where you can buy the game with just as a solo game. If you want to play it 2-player, you need an extra set of dice and an extra truck. You can use the same Truckin log, but you do need to have extra truck and extra dice. So rather than charge more for the game, we'll just offer, if you want that option, I think it's an extra $6.
Extra $6.
Uh,
Also, if you have extra dice and like a pawn at home, you can use that too.
Yeah, that's right. You don't have. You can play the 2-player game without the expansion if you want. I mean, our upgrade. You just need to get your own 6 dice and some sort of a pawn. But if you want, if you want to have 2 trucks and matching dice, we'll give you that opportunity for a couple bucks more. I think that's basically it. We do hope to have the Coast to Coast expansion available at some point. Hopefully sooner rather than later. The thing that makes that difficult is that we added the plot twist thing with the adventure guide, and that it's not easy necessarily to come up with period appropriate activities that you can build into the game, much less for 3 boards than for 11 boards. So I haven't even started the travel adventure guide for the Coast to Coast version, but it will be fun to do. And when I find time, I will do that. So that will be available at some point down the road. Until now, I'm sure you'll have plenty of fun with this version of it. So listen, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the game. Have a great weekend. Have a great week and a great weekend and a great week after that. And let them truckers roll. We 10-10 on the side. We'll see you on the flip-flop. 10-4, 10-10. Goodbye.